Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's me again, Russell Mills. It's October 19th, 2021 on a Tuesday. I say hello. Hope everybody's blessed. Sad news. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell, he just passed away. He was 84. I'm going to show you guys a clip. Let's, get rolling.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs leading the charge in Desert Storm.
Our strategy to go after this army is very, very simple. First, we're going to cut it off, and then we're going to kill it.
Colin Powell, who started as an infantryman during 2 tours in Vietnam, instantly became a household name. Later as America's first black Secretary of State. Succumbing to COVID, Powell was fully vaccinated, but had suffered from prostate cancer and in recent years multiple myeloma and Parkinson's. Once one of America's most popular figures, many urged him to run for president. Any regrets that you didn't run? You write in the book about how wrenching the decision was.
I had to think about it because it was expected of me, and I'm a soldier. But after a few weeks of it, I realized this is just not me. This is not what I can do.
His so-called Pottery Barn rule of war, if you break it, you own it, led him to privately oppose the Iraq War. We were with him in Afghanistan in 2002. What is it going to take to put the country back together?
It's going to take the effort of the entire international community.
A low point a year later, making the case to the UN that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, mistakenly accepting the CIA's pretext for invading Iraq. No weapons were ever found, an episode he said he deeply regretted. In 2008, Powell broke from the Republican Party, endorsing Barack Obama and strongly criticizing Donald Trump's challenge to Obama's birthright.
The correct answer is he is not a Muslim. He's a Christian. He's always been a Christian. But the really right answer is, what if he is? Is there something wrong with being a Muslim in this country? The answer is no. That's not America.
Tributes tonight from around the world, including President Biden.
He's not only a dear friend and a patriot, one of our great military leaders and a man of overwhelming decency.
Though he often stayed out of the spotlight, one exception this moment 2 years ago.
When I walked up to him, I said, "You're General Colin Powell." And he said, "Yes, I am."
I knew he was one of me. He was one of my guys.
When Powell's car got a flat, military veteran Anthony Maggart, an amputee, pulling over to help him fix it. Powell later writing on Facebook, "Thanks, Anthony. You touched my soul and reminded me of what this country is all about. Let's stop screaming at each other. Let's just take care of each other."
And Andrea, we're also learning General Powell's wife has COVID and is recovering.
Right, Lester. Alma Powell is recovering nicely at home. Meanwhile, General Powell is rightly being celebrated for his historic military and foreign policy achievements, but his legacy is also his center at City College of New York, which educates so many immigrant and first-generation children like him, and his appeals to heal our racial and political divides.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's...
Hello. So, just want to play something else. But yeah, died at 84, they said, of COVID. And he had other issues, they said, but crazy.
Colin Powell soared to historic heights. That journey from his childhood in the South Bronx, always with him.
I'm a son of immigrants. My parents came here on banana boats from Jamaica. And all they said to me was, do your very, very best. And always make sure that you love this country of ours.
And he did, breaking so many barriers along the way. The young man who went to still segregated Georgia for basic training at Fort Benning, rising to become the first black national security advisor, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and Secretary of State.
They will say that Colin Powell, first African American to ever hold the position of Secretary of State. And I'm glad they will say that. And I want to repeat it. I want to repeat it because I hope it will give inspiration to young African Americans coming along, but beyond that, all young Americans coming along.
That message he'd often deliver to America's kids himself.
Don't anyone ever tell you you are limited because you came from the inner city, because you're black, because you didn't go to the right schools. The only thing that should ever be a limitation is your own dream.
a great American, and his words that continue to lift and inspire. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today.
So yeah, you see, so a legend, and let me just pull up. But yeah, Colin Powell, sad loss. That we lost a good man, but and people are gonna speak highly of him always because what he stood for. You know what I'm saying, in this country. So, and that's the bottom line. You know what I mean. So it's like let me read a little bit about him. And so it's Colin Luther Powell. He was born April 5th, 1937, and he just passed away October 18th, 2021. Was an American politician, diplomat, statesman, and four-star general who served as the 65th United States Secretary of State from 2001 to 2005. He was the first African-American Secretary of State. Prior to the election of Barack Obama as president in 2008, he and his successor, Condoleezza Rice, I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong, were the highest ranking African Americans in federal executive branch history by virtue of the Secretary of State standing fourth in the presidential line of succession. So he served as the 16th United States National Security Advisor from 1987 to 1989, as the 12th Chairman of the Joint Staff from 1989 to 1993. Says Powell was born in New York City in 1937, was raised in the South Bronx. His parents, Luther and Mild Powell, immigrated to the United States from Jamaica. He was educated in New York City public schools, graduating from the City College of New York, CCNY, where he earned a bachelor's degree, geology. He also participated in ROTC at the CCNY and received commission as an Army second lieutenant upon graduation in June of 1958. So he was a professional soldier for 35 years, during which time he had held many command and staff positions and rose to the ranks of a four-star general. He was commander of the U.S. Army Forces Commander in 1989. This is Powell's last assignment from 1989 to September 1993 was the 12th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest military position in the Department of Defense. During this time, he oversaw 28 crises, including the invasion of Panama in 1989, Operation Desert Storm, Persian Gulf War against Iraq in 1990-1991. He formulated the Powell Doctrine, which limited American military actions unless it satisfies criteria regarding American national security interest, overwhelming forces, and widespread public support. He was the 65th United States Secretary of State, serving under Republican President George W. Bush. His term was highly controversial regarding his inaccurate justification for American-Iraq War in 2003. He was forced to resign after Bush was reelected in 2004. This is in 1995, Powell wrote his autobiography, My American Journey, and then in retirement, another book, It Worked for Me, Lessons in Life and Leadership, in 2012. He pursued a career as a public speaker, addressing audiences across the country and abroad. Prior to his appointment as Secretary of State, Powell was Chairman American Promise. This is Alliance for Youth, a national nonprofit organization dedicated to mobilizing people from every sector of American life to build the character and competence of young people. So he won numerous U.S. and foreign military awards and decorations. His civilian awards include a Presidential Medal of Freedom twice, Congressional Gold Medal, and President's Citizen Medal, the Secretary of State Distinguished Service Medal, and the Secretary of Energy Distinguished Service Medal. It says several schools and other institutions were named in his honor, and he held honorary degrees from universities and colleges across the country. It says in 2016, while not a candidate for that year's election, received 3 electoral votes from Washington for the office of the President of the United States. It says Powell was being treated for blood cancer, died from complication of COVID of October of 2021. So it says Colin Luther Powell. Again, he was born in 1937 in Harlem, a neighborhood in New York City's borough in Manhattan, to Jamaican immigrants Maud Arau and Luther, Powell. His parents were both mixed African and Scottish, so obviously they had white and black in them. That's why Colin Powell was so light skinned, obviously, because his parents were, light skinned, but that's not even a big deal. But yeah, Scott, it says Luther worked as a shipping clerk and Maud as a seamstress. Powell was raised in the South Bronx and attended the now closed Morris High School, from which he graduated in 1954. And it says while at school, Powell worked at a local baby furniture store where he picked up Yiddish from Eastern European Jewish shopkeepers and some other customers. He once spoke to a Jewish reporter in Yiddish, much to the man's surprise. He also served as Shabbos Gar, helping Orthodox families with needed tasks on Sabbath. He received Bachelor of Science degree in geology from the City College of New York in 1958 and said he was a C average student. Says Powell also graduated from George Washington University with the MBA in 1971, an honorary doctorate of public service in 1990. Says despite his parents' pronunciation of his name, Powell pronounced his name, I forget, from childhood on after World War II. Hold on. Excuse me, guys. Says military career. Says Powell was a professional soldier for 35 years, holding a variety of command and staff positions and rising the rank of general. Vietnam War. Captain Powell served tour in the Vietnam and South Vietnamese Army, ARVN, advised from 1962 to 1963. While on patrol in VETCOM, held area he was wounded by stepping on a punctured stake. The large infection made it difficult for him to walk and caused his foot to swell for a short time, shortening his first tour. Says Powell returned to Vietnam as a major in 1968, serving as an assistant chief of staff of operations for the 23rd America Infantry Division. During the second tour in Vietnam, he was decorated with the Soldier's Medal for bravery after he survived a helicopter crash and single-handedly rescued 3 others, including Division Commander Major General Charles M. Geddes, from the burning wreckage. Powell was charged with investigation, a detailed letter by 11th Light Infantry Brigade soldier Tom Glenn, which backed up rumored allegations of the My La massacre. He wrote in the direct refutation of the portrayal is the fact that a relationship between American soldiers and Vietnam people are excellent. Later Powell assessment would be described as a whitewash in the news. So I'm not going to go all into, his life because he's got a lot in here, you know what I'm saying? Obviously he was a man of integrity, He, he stood for what he had to stand for, you know what I mean? So again, he was a man that did what he had to do for this country, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and he was well respected by, a lot of the presidents and, you know what I'm saying? So, says Powell married Alma Johnson on August 25th, 1962. Their son, Michael Powell, was the chairman of the Federal Communication Commission's FCC from 2001 to 2005. His daughters are Linda Powell and actress Anne-Marie Powell. As a hobby, Powell restored old Volvo and Saab automotives. 2013 faced questions about his relationship with his Romanian diplomat Corina Cretu. After a hacked AOL email account had been made public, he acknowledged a very personal email relationship but denied further involvement. So, says Powell was treated by multiple pneumonia, died at the Walter Reed National Military Center of complications from COVID-19 at the age of 84. He has been vaccinated. He was vaccinated, but the myeloma comprised of his immune system. So, I'm just gonna say rest in peace to a man that served his country. You know what I'm saying? Was a good citizen. People spoke highly of him. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say this, get off here in a second. This is how you want to be remembered. You don't want to be remembered as a person that didn't do much in this life. And this guy had awards, was in the military, you know what I'm saying, was well respected from, people in politics. Not everybody, I'm sure not everybody always agreed with him, but he was well respected across the board. But everybody, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. Check out me out. It's my name, Russell Mills, RussellMills. May 22nd, 2017. First video, Why Black People Settle for Less. So everybody take care. Have a good day. Peace.